Yo ho ho! What's going on, guys? This is Grim Reaper bringing you guys another installment of the Boar's Hat podcast. I think we're on episode 50 kabajillion. This is 50 kabajillion and one. So like, subscribe, guys. We got more coming on the way. 289, man. 280 motherfucking 9. What's going on, guys?
I'm all right.
Yo.
Rest in peace, Stanley.
Oh,
Rest in peace, Stanley. Praise the sun and rest in peace.
Yeah, so in the beginning of the podcast, we got news that Stan Lee had passed away.
The living legend.
Yeah,
Man of comics.
Pay respects to that and shit. Now, anything you want to say with that?
I mean, man, he, as a person who grew up on like comic books and all the Spider-Man came, my dad put Spider-Man comics in my hand. He means a lot to us. Like, outside from just the MCU stuff, it's like what he did for Marvel and comics in general. Because I don't know if you guys know about a lot of the bullshit comics went through the 80s and whatnot. People thought they were bad for kids, poisoning their minds, stuff. Like a lot of the stuff that he did helped comics become what it is today. So rest in peace, rest in paradise. Like
respect.
It's a legend. But anyways, Taizai.
No doubt, man. 289, we got the great ESCANOR vs ZELDRIS fight. Super hype situation. The one took on another one of the Demon King's sons. What did you guys think of the chapter? What were your thoughts and everything?
It was a fun chapter.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You want to do a rating there, Grimm? Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, go one by one, elaborate. We want to start, bro. What y'all niggas doing?
Okay.
Yeah,
Nia, you start.
All right, so I liked it. It was a good chapter. What I do like about the chapter a lot is I feel that Zeldris talking about, like, what is that?
Fuck, dog. Go ahead.
He doesn't hold back. I really like that part. Is like, and lion went away. Maybe I just don't underestimate money. I go all out. Like, if my brother was really trying, I don't think you could have beat my brother. Because if I was really trying, he's really trying, he would have beat you. Because I feel like I never got the impression that Zeldris was ever like scared or super impressed with Scanner. Like, obviously he's a beast, he's a monster, but he didn't like quake in his boots as if he's seen something of that caliber already. So to be like, you beat my brother, he was like, he didn't believe that almost. So I kind of like that part. But for me, it's like a 9 out of 10. We'll dive into the more specifics later. That's all I'll say for now.
Nice. Kishin, you want to go?
No, you go.
All right. Well, I give it the chapter itself. Honestly, I give a 9 out of 10. Same deal. You guys would think because I'm such an Escanor, fanboy, that I'd be giving this a 10 out of 10. But honestly, there was a few things that just made it shy of a 10 out of 10 for me because I thought that this fight, like just specifically between Escanor and Zeldris, would go on for at least another chapter. I was hoping for like a 2-part fight where one of them does significant damage and then the other one comes back and does significant damage. I thought it'd be more even pace and I thought we'd draw it out a little more. So little disappointment in that, but I'm not unhappy with the result. And what Nia said about the Zeldris saying I go all out, that's very specific and very good for us to know because regardless of his expressions. So I like the fact that he states, I'm trying. Like, I'm going all out 100%. There's no, I'm 50% power. I took you too lightly. No. He's trying regardless. And I really enjoyed that. I also enjoyed, we'll probably get into this later, but I enjoyed the Escanor saying he fights for his friends because in my opinion, when Zeldris brought that up, this is between gods and demons. You got no stake in this. Why are you fighting? And it's not just for Merlin and all that stuff. It's because remember he's been hated and thought cursed by his own family, kicked out of his own kingdom wherever that is. He's been kicked out. He's been hated, and the only people that ever accepted him were Merlin and Meliodas. So to him, that's home. The Boar's Hat, just like here, is home. It's home to him. It's the only place he feels acceptance, and he might not show it because he's a prideful son of a bitch. But he the first time he's ever been accepted and feels like he belongs. So it's not some fairy tale bullshit with the Nakama shit. It's real this time. It's a proper good character development for me.
Thank you for skipping ahead, fucking Griever.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hey, why you gotta do that, man?
Kishin, Soraya, what'd you guys your thoughts on the chapter?
That kind of summed it up. I mean, it was a good. I thought it was good pacing. It would have been nice to see more, obviously, but you know, we get what we get, and you always try to enjoy it, right? And there wasn't much to not enjoy about this chapter, in my opinion. So there was a couple things that were like, oh, didn't like we kind of predicted that in other streams, so it was like, but you never really know what's going to happen and when that's going to happen or how it's going to happen. So it was good to see some of the things happen. I'm sorry, not my best description.
Yeah, I agree with that.
When is Cusack gonna do something?
Very
Well, he
true.
did do something.
He stared.
Yeah, he just watched, patiently waiting for his time.
It's like, damn it, my mustache is not powerful enough for this man. His handlebar.
Sorry, did you want to go?
Nah, cause like everybody said everything that needs to be said, basically. So it's not like I did. It's not like I didn't enjoy Escanor looking like a boss, you know, with his flaming eyes and everything. But I don't got nothing to add to that.
What's your rating on the chapter?
I'd give it an 8 because, you know, while it was hype, I still didn't feel like drawn to anything. It didn't like stand out to me really.
Well, one thing that I wanted to point out, I want to shout out to one of our subscribers, Seb, I believe is how you say his name. He's one of our friends for years. He pointed out in yesterday's stream that Zeldris' hilt of his sword has the symbol of the goddess clan on it. And,
Really?
yeah. And if
Yeah,
you
I
look
saw him saying that, but I haven't looked it up.
And if you look
Yeah,
at
I
the,
read that in the weekend thing when we were doing the podcast last time.
Yeah.
And I had to go back, and it's been there the whole time, and
Yeah.
I don't know what the significance is.
in this chapter as well, on the cover page, we see it very, very clearly there as well. So,
I missed that.
Meliodas' true power arc.
Oh Jesus!
Could also be a stolen sword. You never know.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is there.
Oh, we know that's Male's old sword.
But it's also black, so it's like the opposite.
What are you trying to say, that he's a hybrid?
No, but there's clearly an affiliation here, whether he stole the blade or whether something else going on. But that's besides the point. I think chapter 289 was I'll give it an 8 out of 10. The fight was pretty good. I didn't necessarily like how Escanor didn't really do too many different things to get this. It was just like overwhelming force that got past the issue. But that's around your echo.
Oh, 1 second.
But the fact that we got to see him.
Is it better?
Yeah, you're good. You're good now. I will probably elaborate this in a little bit. He threw Rita away. Rita got chipped.
Yeah, I was like, am I saying what I'm saying?
It was one of those things where it's like this stupid weapon looks like my hand is more powerful than mine. That kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh no. I was like, oh no.
That worried me, man. I think he feels something. I was thinking it's more like Thor's hammer. Like Thor doesn't want his hammer destroyed, and I don't think Escanor wants his weapon destroyed. So he was just like, yeah, if I keep attacking with this, it might break. So
Exactly.
nope.
That's what but the thing is, like, fuck, I don't want to get into this now, but it made me question, he technically should be stronger with Rita. Divine Sword Escanor should not be stronger than Rita, correct?
The thing about Escanor is like, okay, so like, oh my lord, this is gonna make me sad on the inside. He's a little bit like a Hulk in a sense where, like, you know, power keeps going with anger, but he goes with the sun. But it's like he's such an abnormality of pure power that it defies all conventional logic that has to do with the series. So it's like this thing always works on everybody, but Escanor is just so fucking powerful that even though it works on everybody, he was always the exception, kind of thing. So it's like you can do all kind of magic and stuff, but Hulk is like, well, I'm so angry and physically powered that Doctor Strange's specials don't work on me. It's just kind of the thing with him. He's like the abnormality. He's the the exception to a lot of the rules.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
You telling me that some of Doctor Strange's magic won't work on the Hulk, bro?
There's a lot of nonsense that Hulk does just because he's so fucking powerful. But please don't get me started on Hulk. He's inconsistent right now. But yeah.
No, we'll keep it to Taizai. We'll keep it to Taizai.
All right, so then I think we got whatchamacallit, Alchema. What are your thoughts on the chapter, bro?
I thought it was honestly quick paced. Like, I didn't think it would get settled so abruptly. Like, Zeldris is not done. But I'm pretty sure Escanor at this point should be, because it goes back to like daytime and he goes back into the one. He won't be able to do that again.
Also, his power probably will start dropping. Did it start dropping from noon?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
As soon as that minute's over.
So now he'll only be getting weaker, even if they were gonna
But he wouldn't be the form he's in. He would slowly, like, let's say the tone change. Let's call it between 11:30 and 12, just for sake of argument. That means between 12 and 12:30, he'd be as powerful as that. Then beyond that, he'd slowly get weaker, but he'd still be in, beefy form.
I described it in my reaction as that it's like he's a balloon that inflated to its maximum point, and now he's got a puncture in it, and he's slowly leaking.
Right.
So
yeah, I was actually right. Yeah, very well put.
The way that he set it up, where we see him pop out of the form in that instance, bro, it got me so fucking scared, bro. I was like, don't tell me this grace degradation bullshit is happening now, bro. To this extent.
I actually feel in that, because I was like, wait, is the Mael reveal coming? Is the grace going back to him? Was it the cop?
Yeah.
Was it like I had so many thoughts in that 1 second? Was it the cop?
Yeah, same.
I actually thought it was like, remember how we predicted that like maybe Merlin had done something to like get him to the one, and it wasn't actually the really time for it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I thought that was what that was all about.
Okay, yeah, that the spell had run out or whatever, or it was done.
But just to base off of what Kishin just said, the reason I never went off on that is because everyone said, okay, she's gonna be able to extend the time, she's gonna be able to do something. Infinity, as far as I'm aware, which is stupidly broken, but it only works on casting spells. Grace and commandments are not cast.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just it's always on. You don't really turn it off. So Infinity, I don't think Merlin can actually affect the power of graces or commandments, even if she wanted to with Infinity. So I never bought into the theory that she could kind of pseudo a one form or extend the time, even though that's a popular theory.
This is where we get into the whole semantics debacle again, because we technically, like, you're right to us that we have not seen an example of Infinity not being worked on a spell, but this is just magic. So technically, we've seen Absolute Cancel work on certain things. Are we now saying that Absolute Cancel can't turn off certain aspects? Like if Cruel Sun, if Escanor throws Cruel Sun at Merlin, she can Absolute Cancel that.
Well, it's a spell.
That's a casted spell.
That's power from the grace.
Yeah, but she's not turning off. Escanor doesn't go to timid form from Absolute Cancel. Just the Cruel Sun.
She's not targeting Escanor. She's targeting the spell, the magic release, the release of the sunshine, of the grace. Because like that's like saying what's a great example?
I get what you're saying, Grimm. You're saying like if I use an ability from my grace, she can absolutely cancel it. But what I'm saying is, okay, she can cancel that initial move, but that doesn't mean that I lose the power of the grace. Redesio, regardless.
That's an innate power. Yeah, it's an innate power. Absolute Cancel does not turn off Gil Thunder's ability to use lightning. Yeah.
Right, exactly. It's the same idea as far as I'm aware. So yeah, she could stop Crazy Prominence. She could stop Cruel Sun. She could. I fully agree that Absolute Cancel could stop all that.
But
I'm just saying I don't think it
but-
could affect the one.
Now we've seen that Merlin is capable of actually removing magic if she wants to, because she did that to Meliodas.
Yeah, so I have no doubt that she couldn't, but we
true.
know that in particular, the commandment requires a special technique to remove it. That in particular. That's why.
Yeah.
But
Merlin knows everything about the graces and all of that.
yeah, she was gifted with knowledge of all type of demon arts.
Yeah, so I don't
Yeah,
see why
that-
she wouldn't be able to remove it. Or do
Yeah,
something
she
with
probably
it.
knows the spell to remove that Zeldris taught Estarossa. So she probably knows that spell because the Demon King gifted her with all knowledge of every spell. So she could probably, maybe she can absolute cancel the night spell. We don't know.
Yeah, she should have done that. She is doing something. Look, that's the other thing I've noticed too. Where is it? If you go to the panel after when is it? He stabs him. Darkness. Nah, fuck, we passed it.
Can we talk about how like useless fucking Cusack has been? Like,
Yes.
He's observing, waiting for his time.
yeah,
I still say he's a backstabber, so.
I can't remember who someone was saying. It was like they felt like Chandler wouldn't really interfere because mostly he's here for Meliodas kind of thing, which I didn't agree with. And he was the one who's like, "Yo, I recognize this magic. Fuck the sun, blackout." You know? So it's like, thank you.
Right.
Help.
Right.
Like do something.
He's definitely done more than the actual teacher of the one getting beat to shit.
Yeah, like, that's supposed to be your prince. You know what I'm saying? You're just like, exposition.
You know what?
Yeah, he's
But you know what
probably
weirds me
waiting
out?
to, like, oh, they feel like they got the upper hand on Chandler, and then he's just gonna do that eye shit and make them stab themselves.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
resonance?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wondering one thing though, the fact that Chandler pulled that stuff, the fact that Chandler recognized it specifically, consistently, but Cusack needs exposition dump from Chandler. That's weird to me. Why? Like Cusack is old. We know that Chandler's probably one of the oldest demons,
Because
if
they
not
never
the
fought.
oldest.
That's why, bro. We
already
already discussed this, that we can
It's
most likely
confirmed.
assume that they've fought. Like he's probably encountered Maya before.
It's already, it's been confirmed already that Chandler's older than Gowan.
Well, we could be in for another plot twist.
Like what?
Well, we don't know much about Cusack, honestly, so... And he hasn't done anything, really, so... You never know.
I could definitely see because Zeldris never wanted him to interfere. So, like, the fear of upsetting his student, prodigy, prince, whatever title you want to label him, it's like, so that's why he's in a standstill. It's like, if he wants my help, he'll ask for it.
But also, it's really they didn't want to get caught in the attack. That's really why they jumped back, right?
Yeah.
I never really thought they weren't part of the fight. It's just like, okay, this is kind of an indiscriminatory attack. It just sucks in everything around him, right? Kind of like think like the girl know me, where Whitebeard can't really just go ham because his shit just shakes everything. So even his people are affected by it. So it's just one of those kind of situations where they hop back.
Okay.
But okay,
Probably.
look, he's in trouble now. Fucking help!
Yeah.
He's gonna watch. You can get Shigan in the stomach. Like help.
I mean, to be fair, they did even give us like an author's or a narrator's quote box saying this all happened in 0.8 seconds, and he was gonna need one more second in order to even turn on his ominous nebula. So it wasn't even like, just to give credit to Zeldris, it wasn't even like Escanor doing this was gonna completely monopolize the fight. Like Escanor had to come with that second divine sword in order to really change the tide of the battle, because he was gonna turn this shit back on. He really was.
Because once the scanner went into the one, he just divine sword of scanner. Meliodas was like, "You bastard!" Blah. That was it, and he was done. Right?
Yeah.
He tried to hit him with the axe, didn't work. Tried to hit him with the same attack that murked his brother, that didn't work. And then after, he gave him the fucking big ass finger to the chest. But still, even after that and taking like a blitz from Reducio, his eyes are wide open. He's conscious. He's probably hurt bad, but he's still out.
Dude, he's halfway. If Chandler had not turned on his ability, then he would have lost 4 hearts. He would have been stabbed right through. It would have been finger out Zeldris' backside.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
It was.
That's crazy.
I'm just saying.
It would have. Too bad it didn't happen.
No,
it didn't happen. It didn't happen.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Because he said Pierce. Are you telling me that you don't believe that if the one had stayed for another 10 seconds, that would have pierced right through Zeldris' body?
Bro, with a slash, he fucked on assault mode Meliodas. And this nigga fucking, not only was Ominous Nebula like fucking literally stopping the sword, bruh. Like this guy has a crazy durability feat. Like right now, that's a crazy durability feat right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but all I point out is the fact that he used Divine Sword, which did not touch Zeldris the first time. It did not touch him, but it was so strong. It canceled Ominous Nebula, and then he had to block it with the sword and go and then all of a sudden he's like, okay, now I'm gonna try it again. Except it's a different form because the kanji's a little different from the raw, but so it's something else. But anyways, it's still Pierce Escanor instead of Divine Sword Escanor, whatever. And he uses that, and it does significant damage. He has half a hole in his chest. Man, if that had continued, that would have been 3 or 4 hearts of Zeldris just gone. I'm not saying it would have killed him. I'm saying he would have lost some hearts.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. So the fact that they got help, but then at the same time, it seemed to be implied that that this was part of the plan, because I don't know if we're there yet, but just the fact the help from both sides seems to kind of balance each other out in a sense.
He was gonna die.
I don't think he was gonna die, but he would have been out.
No, I'm talking about Escanor.
Oh.
Escanor was about to die.
You think so?
Why would he have died?
So. No.
Coughing up blood.
Why do you think it would have died?
I think he means they're probably gonna target him while he's weak like this.
He was, they literally said he needed 1 more second to turn on the power of God again, bro. They said 1 second. You're telling me if he's doing something like that at that speed, already being the fastest swordsman in the entire demon realm, that he wasn't gonna decapitate Escanor while he was falling backwards? I assumed that. That's what I assumed. That's what I assumed. That when he was up in the air like that, like, oh shit, what's happening? And then my next thought was, oh, he's fucked. This is what the whole hype was. Escanor might die here for real. But then he got saved.
Oh, I agree with that. I agree that, like, in that timid form, Grimm's right. Like, there's no question. Had nobody else intervened, that probably would have happened.
Yeah, if he was in his normal form, sure.
Exactly. Though we have seen the durability. I'm not stating anything about a durability for someone like timid Escanor, but the fact of the matter is he did take a smack from Galen, who at the time had no magical power, but had a strength that dwarfed at 26,000, highest power level at the time, and timid Escanor took a blow from a drunk Galen and still woke up. Like, he was knocked out, but, like, should that not have cleaved his head clean off? Like, we saw Galen casually blow away half a Camelot.
That made me question his durability in his small form, that moment with Galen. I just never, like, there's been no other time where we've had evidence to prove that in the inferior form he's still a cannon and shit, or a tank. But yeah, there's evidence to argue that. I agree.
But that's happened with other characters as well. It's durability that shouldn't really exist.
What do you thought of the 2 Escanors being conscious of each other?
2 Escanors?
They're aware of each other's existence.
2 Escanors?
His personalities.
There's no such.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, please elaborate.
In the latest questions, somebody asked Nakaba if the 2 Escanors are aware of each other, and he said yes, they are.
I know. I think I know what he's referring to. Is the fact that, like, timid Escanor, who's a totally different, like, he's a beta, and then you have the alpha, who's the manly one that we've seen in this chapter. So I would say yes. Well, Nakaba confirmed that they do. I would say they always do. It's kind of like one of those things where the timid Escanor kind of wears all his emotions and all his insecurities on his shoulders, like on his sleeve, out in the open, in front of everybody for 12 hours. Then by sacrificing that for 12 hours, the prideful one has no insecurities, no interruptions, no negative emotion.
I think I either don't
right
understand
here.
the question or like this is a stupid question because he's spoken about the one before, or not the one. He's spoken about his bigger form all the time. Like even against Galen, like he was confident enough to grab his shit and like walk up. Like
No, I think it was.
Look, the question is, are day and night Escanors conscious of each other? And he said one is jealous, and the other one finds the night one finds the day Escanor. The day one finds the night one unsympathetic.
Oh, I never interpreted his personality change as two different people, I guess. So, that's interesting. I always just thought he was just becoming more confident, prideful. I didn't really think there was a two different people kind of thing. But I mean,
I always figured
guess-
it was a
No.
mindset.
I guess, but you know,
He's not bipolar, guys. He's not bipolar. He doesn't have dementia the moment he turns like. He does not. He's the same guy. It's just that he recognizes that this is part of his curse, and that's why he always referred to it as a. Because he has to, the manly one has to suffer through nighttime, looking at him, probably looking within his mind, kind of like, "Oh my God, I look like such a tool." And then and then the nighttime one's like, "Well, if the sun rises, I think I'll be okay." Like sort of idea. Like so, one looks at one in
bro,
one looks at one.
that's what I'm telling you, bro. Like when he's timid or when he's small, he still talks shit. He's much more conscious about it, not as much, nowhere near as much. Go reread the translations for Escanor in the Galen fight. This nigga was talking shit to Galen.
Oh yeah,
He
yeah, he
talking
did
shit
not
to Galen.
care.
Yeah,
Well, it's the same person, so.
yeah. That's why I'm
And
like,
his-
I get that phrasing, but I think that's like either a jit ask or a child asking that question, or like we should have seen it differently, like Naya was saying. But that's weird, bro.
yeah.
No, as Grimm said, the durability got to be questioned because he took a smack from a drunk gallant who probably wasn't holding back because he's drunk it off his ass. The same dude who casually blew away half a city, and timid Escanor at nighttime took the blow. There's no destroyed his human body, so he's still got the grace. Like he's still got durability.
Wait,
Didn't
he get
here.
stabbed by Galaxinia?
You know what? That's what you mean talking the night where he threw his axe at Delora and Luxenia and the
Like,
thing.
he got like stabbed in the chest by and then
Did he-
got
did he?
healed right away.
Yeah, and then he
Yeah,
got healed by the rose.
That's
whatever.
Gloxinia though. Gloxinia is confirmed mountain range level.
Okay, well that
Yeah.
just adds to it. Someone even stronger than Galen stabbed him and he was still alive.
I was gonna say that's
No,
just
but he
consistent
healed
because the scanner is just showing literally how fucking powerful he is here. Because it's just like the ominous nebula slashes don't seem to either just not hurting him or just not hurting him enough that he's just gonna force his way until Zeldris has to just defend himself physically with the sword. That's
I'm
how I
saying
feel.
the fact that he got healed afterwards and he was still alive, any human would have died in an instant.
Right.
Sure, I guess.
We're not
No.
saying that he can't
I mean-
die. We're just saying that like
Oh, but the fact that he took a hit from the Fairy King, who was still alive even after that.
oh he
Or
was
died
still,
from
oh
that.
yeah he was talking no he was in the was he like groveling whatever?
No, he was pleading that he didn't want to fight against Gother. Was the thing. But at the same time, no, when he took the hit, he was dying. It's implied anyways. Like he took a massive hit. He wasn't dead, which is surprising once again, but he was still dying because he's still timid Escanor. I'm not saying he's invincible in that form. No way. It's just that his durability is far beyond that of a normal human.
I mean, he even just flexes himself to fucking close wounds. So
Yeah, that's true too.
he's just like I said, he's the exception. He's the one.
Gotta stop that bleeding somehow.
Yeah, like I always took the translation of the invincible incarnation of power quite literally. Like for 1 minute, for 60 seconds, 1v1, the one won't be stopped. It can be pushed, it can be brought to its limit, but in 1v1, the one wins. That's the point. But only for 60 seconds. Because you even think. Yeah. But with Zeldris, like for example, in this fight, had this continued, that probably would have used up the minute. Let's just say, for example, that he had finished the piercing stuff. That's at least 30, 35 seconds. Like, let's not kid ourselves. The one was going to run out soon anyways. So my point is that everyone's saying that the one can't be that OP. The one can be that OP because he can't just now. How's he going to fight Chandler and Cusack? He used up the one. We saw how weak Escanor was after using the one against the battle with Meliodas. When he uses the one form, he is severely weakened. Even though he's still manly, Merlin punched him and he went down because he used up a lot of freaking power. So
okay,
now
but in that instance though, he did take more damage. I don't think he really got that hurt in this battle. Meliodas was fucking him up.
Yeah.
True, but we saw that.
I hear you though, because he punched him in the chest and he went down.
Yeah, exactly.
He was injured, so.
Right. So he took it. Yeah, you're right. He took a lot more damage post the one, anyways. Plus, he did take the divine slashes, even though it looks unscathed. We don't know if that actually did real lasting damage. My point being is that, like, a lot of people are saying, like, the one, like, why doesn't Male just go storm the demon? Like, why would it be one side? I'm like, because if you storm the 10 Commandments, yeah, you might take down Zeldris and Cusack. Now you've lost all your power. You've done your minute. And now you have to fight, like, all right, so he takes down Zeldris and Cusack. Now he's got to fight Chandler, the other 9 Commandments, for all we know, more high-ranking demons. Like, so in the Holy War, it made sense that even though it was 1v1, it was awesome. It was only 1v1 awesome for 60 seconds. And I don't believe that any of these guys are going down easily in those 60 seconds. So.
Yeah, same.
They'll still lose, but only 1v1. So if there's 3 against 1, he's not going to come out on top. He'll kill one of them, and then get bitched by the other 2.
This nigga lost to Stigma, bro. I don't want to hear any bullshit about Mayo. This nigga lost to Stigma twice. He got captured when he had 3 commandments. Hold on. He had 3 commandments without sunshine. Without the blessing of the sun, 3 commandments with him, and arc magic, and he got captured, bro, by 2 archangels, the Fairy King, and fucking a demon, bro. He got captured, and then he got killed by the Fairy King powered up. I don't want to hear shit about Mayo back in the day was gonna kill No, bro, it was Meliodas, bro. Mayo was just there to hold him back. Mayo was holding Meliodas back, bro. It wasn't no Meliodas holding Mayo back. Mayo was holding Meliodas back, bro.
I don't think so.
Grimm wasn't the clearest mind during that fight.
You don't think the strongest of the goddesses would have taken down Meliodas back then?
I think the 4 archangels could have taken down the Meliodas.
Yeah, if they ganged up on him, maybe.
I'm talking about Mile by himself.
Oh,
no, definitely not.
I remember Male actually had hatred in his heart. He might have been prideful, but Rudeciel had poisoned his mind to the point that he thought that demons were. Look, he slaughtered women. Like,
but didn't we learn that if you have a grace, that you're immune to the effects of commandments?
That is also true. So I mean, that might be a
only the curse.
Curse, so then it's useless.
No, it's a power It's a power boost.
Power boost, but the curse doesn't work on you, and he just brought up the hatred thing.
Yeah. I did, and that is true. That love would not have affected, or charity would not have affected Male in that form, so it wouldn't have mattered. But nonetheless, Meliodas.
I wanted to talk about that because that's one of the things that is most likely going to be future development for a few of these characters. The how to say this properly? The implemented racism over time is most likely the cause of the supreme deity. We've been shown that not only Meliodas and certain other commandments and warriors, but the archangels as well, have been blindly shown to just hate and kill each other. This war, they themselves don't even know the true purpose of the war. Some individuals have even lost interest in the war and are just here doing their own things as they want to. So, what are the true machinations of the supreme deity? Because when Merlin was gifted with power, she was also gifted with the ability, with the protection from brainwashing from the archangels. That was a specific thing. She was protected from brainwashing of the archangels. We know how strong all of them are. All of them are. They're all strong as fuck. We know how strong Breath of Bliss can be. We know how strong mental manipulation magic is. So, are we seeing the effects of a spell in terms of the racism that we hear and see from Rudeciel, Mayo, Meliodas back in the day, a lot of the demon race? Is that because of a spell, or is this innate?
I don't think so.
I can give you a few examples. Number one, Darrier Speech showing up with the demon army. They were fine. They just wanted their civilians back, and then they butchered her sister along with other people. That's what sparked the Enduro transformation. Also, Sariel and Tarmiel stood down when Elizabeth said, they can't fight anymore, I'm changing this shit. So there's two awesome examples. And the third thing, Rudesiel told Elizabeth, he will not forgive you. Who the hell is he? Supreme Deity, as far as we know, is a fucking beast.
Wait, you think they were fighting before the war even began?
It could be. And we know Rudesiel. We know Rudesiel's problem right away. We saw it in the last chapter. Rudesiel has sacrificed clearly a lover, friendship. He's probably lost a lot of people he loved and cared about. Regardless what you think about what that means, it doesn't matter. He's clearly lost lovers, maybe plural, and friends and all that stuff to demons. He has nothing but hatred in his heart for demons at this point. His genocidal tendencies has nothing to do with the spell.
But the only, like you mentioned with Sariel and Tarmiel, where they have the ability of reasoning. They've shown that their hatred or their dislike does not overwhelm their reasoning. Rudesiel, as you just mentioned, has another vendetta or another reason to have a surplus of hate. So what I'm saying in general, besides the fact that they're fighting, because we know that they were fighting before the Holy War sparked, we know that they were against each other before that should happen, before Meliodas defected to the other side, there was fighting going on, so him leaving is not what sparked the war. Where did this hate come from? Because we can't say it's just because it's the war. Like, he is racist. Rudesiel is racist. Mael's racism caused him to be cursed by Gauther. That's what happened. It was straight racism. So where are they getting
Miles' racism came from his brother, though. He poisoned his mind when he was young.
Agreed.
That's been shown.
Agreed. But he got it for a reason, bro. Like Rudesiel is the glaring example. He's the biggest one with the racism since the beginning. But with the instances that we're seeing, it's not just him. He didn't influence every single angel to hate demons.
Yeah, because he's looked at the shining light. That's like the Pope, man.
I don't like the idea of every race being just a simple pawn for their respective gods. Or their leaders just like that. I don't fuck with that.
I mean, I guess we're at a standstill right now because that's just speculation for later on. But
there's something else in the chapter I kind of thought was interesting that I wanted to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sorry, I don't know if you were gonna transition.
No, lead the way, my guy.
Okay, so when they talked about Mael dying and the grace was lost, a lot of time passed and the grace like dwelled within the human's body. Do you think that's like that's all we're gonna get, or do you think they're actually gonna elaborate on that much more at some point? Because I don't. That's not enough for me. That's not enough. Like,
you don't like the fact because what's his name brought that up. Like Rudesiel, the moment he found out, he was like, "Yeah, this ain't possible." And Chandler and Cusack are like, "Oh, human body, no problem." It's like they should know better. Is that what you're kind of saying?
No, I just like don't like this explanation because like if this is all we're gonna get about how Escanor got the grace, I don't like that. I mean, we don't have his backstory yet, so I think we'll get more of it. I'll just say like.
Yeah.
Did you guys think about that little panel though? Because I was just like, that's not enough for me.
That's exactly how I took it. As kind of like an offshoot, like they were just referring, like, because it had to be addressed. So I think it's just one of the times where he's just lightly going over it with some half-assed example, and then we'll get the in-depth, like you said, in the backstory. Because you're right, it is too major for it to be like that.
Do you think it was like passed down through generations or something? Because it doesn't make sense for it to be 3,000 years later and it's finally showing up again.
Well, no, there could be multiple reasons.
The graces are conscious. They're sentient.
So where was it before this?
Wandering, waiting to find someone that could take it. Because from everything we know, every demon has said, and Cusack said it. I can't believe this guy's human every single time. Nobody can believe that Escanor is just a human because there's no way a human can have that power.
So there's definitely something special about him.
Yeah, but there's clearly something special, and the grace was looking. Maybe for 3,000 years. Maybe Escanor's a once in 10,000 year exception.
That's too like. If it's not that it can't be that because it's a manga and that's not an abnormal thing. I feel like that would be bullshit. To me, like I could run with the example that it's been past generations, but I don't fuck with that either because somebody would have noticed it, what was going on. And even if all those generations couldn't wield it, then you would know that there was a curse going on continuously. It's difficult, bro, because like.
Well, I don't think it could be the generations. It might jump from human to human. That could be a possibility, and maybe it broke down their bodies. But I don't believe it could be like a family lineage, because why would the fathers, the mother, the brother, the whole kingdom basically kick Escanor out and call him cursed if they already knew about this?
Yeah,
So it's
probably
clearly
not
not
family related.
That's
Right.
true. All right, and then the other thing that I thought was interesting was the conversation that okay, so because I remember you said Griever earlier, you liked Escanor saying that everything is for sake of my friends, which I don't even think is like something like he doesn't believe, because I don't think he's like an asshole. He's a prideful son of a bitch, but he's not an asshole. It just something about it just struck me as odd, the way that him saying that, especially in this form, the one. I was just like, that's just not something I expected to come out of his mouth. I don't hate it or anything. It just threw me off, I guess.
He only seems close with Merlin, is basically.
Yeah, but
it was the rebuttal that really got me, because he called his brother a cold-hearted. Like, don't make me laugh. You're not a man capable of such boring feelings.
Mhm.
Yeah, I kind of got more insight to how Zeldris feels about his brother. So
The thing that like it reminded me of, I don't know if you guys remember the backstory of Edinburgh, but when they were actually coming to the castle, Escanor asked Meliodas to carry his axe for him, and like that like I forgot the dialogue that was going on there, but it was displaying to us their friendship. Him being one of the members of the Sins that we don't really know about that much, so we got the first glimpse of like how their relationship is, and that was like I guess the most sentimental thing I could see from Escanor, besides his poems just like that. But I agree with you, now. This is like weird.
it just threw me off. It just threw me for a loop. I don't know why, but it just did.
Well, I can admit one thing: the line should have been structured better to fit Escanor's character. It sounds like something out of fairy tale when he puts it that way. I get that. However, it could have been structured better.
Well, it's also the bad translation, so we need to see.
It
Yeah,
tells the goat, though.
What?
Tells the goat.
Oh, you got it.
Oh.
Yeah, the line just struck me as just like, okay, well, you got it.
Yeah.
But I guess the point of the matter is that once again, I brought this up at the beginning. Sorry about that, Grimm. But I brought that up at the beginning, is that the whole friend thing makes total sense, because remember, his whole family cast him out. Everybody hates him. Nobody accepts him. And even when he saved people, when we saw his introduction back in the past, when Merlin first introduced himself, he helped people get away from goblins, bandits, something like that. And they went, "Oh my God, what a freak!" and they ran away. Like it was just tragic. And then the only people that ever accepted him were Meliodas, and who he does refer to as captain multiple times. So he respects the hierarchy, that Meliodas is still his captain, and that kind of stuff. So the friendship line, it could have been worded better to fit Escanor's character, I agree. But the fact that he fights not only for Merlin, but for the 6 other people who accept him, the other 6 weirdos who all band together, the misfits, and he's accepted, not only just accepted, but praised, treated like a trump card, treated like he's important, that he's loved. That's probably the most important thing to him. Just because he's a prideful bastard, the timid one wears his emotions on his sleeve, it doesn't mean that manly Escanor doesn't have emotions. He's not emotional.
He just covers it in muscle.
I'm
Right,
really
exactly. He covers it up. But at the end of the day, the man's still human.
I'm really glad you brought that up and you phrase it like that, because it's always, we're current day readers. All the viewers, all of us here, we read Taizai week to week. So a lot of storylines and a lot of things we could brush over it, or in rereads will actually catch them compared to not catching them here. So the fact that we can actively inside the story see development and see growth, that's going to be the most apparent at the end of the series, not only echoes a good writer, but it echoes like a really good story, bro. Like, that's what you want, man. You want to see the journey along the way. And the fact that like Escanor's biggest issue was the hatred that people had for him and shit like that, and then Nakaba didn't even go through the cliche narrative technique of like having him fucking gain the people's respect halfway in the story. No, he started off with the respect, and we just saw why they respected him this entire story. And I really did appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. Motherfucking Nakaba Sensei.
Yeah, he did great character development for Escanor, in my opinion, who has the least amount, as far as I'm concerned, other than maybe Merlin, who has the least amount of character development as far as all the sins concerned. He's the last introduced, and as you said right off the bat, we respected him. Everybody respected him, and you're like, well, where's his character arc? What's the problem? He's just a trump card. He's just an OP trump card. But no, there's more to his story. You just got to read between those lines, and then you see, as I said before, maybe the more official translation will have a better line for him, like a more badass way of saying, like, I fight for my friends. There's no, like he might say something along the lines of, he goes, why do I fight? He goes, goddess demons, that doesn't matter to me. The only sake I fight for is those who accepted me. Maybe something like that. That sounds, even right there, I just came up with that off the cusp. Sounds a little cheesy, but it's better than the friends line, I'll admit. He doesn't care, because demons and goddesses, they didn't accept him. Or I doubt they would have. Nobody did. And the only ones who did were the 6 misfits. So he's got every reason to want to, like, he's like, sorry, Zeldris, if you were on this side, we wouldn't be fighting, man. It'd be fine. But guess what? My friends are on this side, so, like, I don't honestly care about the Holy War, just like you don't. But I fight for these people. That's just the way it is.
All right. When I introduce this segment, we're going to start doing it every Boar Side podcast. We started it with in the One Punch Man podcast. We're going to do a panel of the week. We're not necessarily bragging that Nakaba has amazing art, because it's not at the top scales, but there are some pretty cool panels in terms of what we know.
No. He's very competent. He's good. He's a good artist.
Hey, bro, competent is not the top scales, my nigga.
No, but like you said, like his art's like, he ain't Togashi. The man could fucking draw. Like Togashi can't draw. He trash. But like, no, not like I can draw. My nigga, don't do that.
I mean, these images wouldn't be as iconic, or the story wouldn't be as iconic without the great images. I agree, no doubt. I'm just saying, like, compared to One Punch Man or Vagabond or even Berserk and shit, like, there is no comparison.
Who cares about Berserker? Don't come out. Neither does Vagabond. So he has 80 years to make it so detailed. You don't get a pass. This is a weekly month.
Nigga, you can talk shit about Berserk, but not Vagabond.
Nothing is sacred. Nothing is safe. You know me.
Oh, shit.
Ain't nothing's.
Did you guys have a preferred panel though, or something that you thought was really, really cool looking this chapter?
All the ones with Zeldris. I do like the darkness one. I do like that because like it looks like everything got dark, and I like the scale of it. But I would say the when Escanor's like hand, like the way that it's paneled, the way his hand is like in the forefront coming down, it just looks so fucking menacing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, like it looks like it's gonna come out the page and fucking chop me, nigga. So I was like that, like that.
Like you are going to like this, or you're not gonna like.
I almost dodge rolled to the right, like.
Praise the sun, man.
So.
Yeah, I do like that panel shows their size difference very well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's cool about it.
Yeah. Are we still harping on the fact that the last chapter looked a little bit smaller when they did it before, or did that change this chapter?
I think now it looked just about right, maybe.
It was proper, yeah.
I mean,
I think it was just a size.
Is like at his knee.
Yeah, his hand is like
more refined,
bigger than him.
Yeah,
than the first time.
Still small as shit.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that on the darkness panel for me, surprisingly, because I thought a lot of that, of course, being an Escanor bitch, I love my boy Escanor, and all these scenes were so good. But panel-wise, the reason I like the darkness panel is because also the scope, as was said, but also the fact that it's confirmed. Like now we've seen, he uses darkness, yeah, but he changes the time to night. He doesn't actually just block out the sun. He changes the time. So in a clearly a space, but because we've seen Escanor just pop back to timid like it's nighttime. So we know how that power works, and I think that was now we've confirmed it, which is just really good for me. I just like confirming abilities rather than
Yeah. And Grimm's gonna say gold shining.
You already.
No.
It should have been called Shining
Or
Gold.
the very
damn it.
last one, your doom was blinking before me. One of those two.
Oh my god!
Jesus.
I already.
That was the baddest line, my nigga. Tell me.
We know about you. We know about you.
Yeah.
This nigga looked back with his hair blowing in the wind, bruh. Cute as fuck. And then he was like, "Your doom was blinking before."
You're gay, man.
Why did you? I was about to say, did you just say cute as fuck? We know it's a woman's body, but
Look,
you
man.
have to remember
My
the
nigga
character.
Rudicel is looking cute as fuck in his armor, bro. On some no homo shit. bruh.
That panel was wrong.
Yeah. The fact that he lost his like I kept looking to see if there was like some semblance of him. Like I know it's just Nakaba's art, but I was worried that like Zeldris actually lost like a leg there. So I kept having to look to make sure. I'm like, okay, no, it's just supposed to be behind him, like the way he's drawn. Because I was like, okay, his sword got cut in half. He's clearly screwed up from Escanor and Rudescil's attacks. I'm like, did he lose literally a leg there?
I mean,
I
Are you
actually
sure that the
had.
sword got cut? Because it has
Yeah.
a flat end in general.
exactly. Yeah, I had trouble with that imagery too.
I figured it was cut.
No, I think
but
it's
now-
just the way the sword
Yeah, but
is.
now that you brought it up, now I don't think it's cut.
No, it doesn't look cut. I think it's just it's the perspective.
Yeah, because even
I think it's
when he
cut.
gets hit initially, it still looks like mad square at the end, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like you would have seen the piece of the blade like kind of sliding somewhere if it got cut. So
We did for Rudicil. So
Yeah, we don't see that here.
But maybe if you guys would follow, like if you look at that panel, follow the line of the sword up until the side, and it looks like Zeldris is flying away from his it would be his left side, and it looks like that's where he took the slash. That whole line looks like that would be like a slash. So like from the sword tip, where you guys are saying, all the way up to
No,
his side.
but above it shows the full sword when he's in the big.
I know. I'm just saying, like, literally you could draw a straight line down from Zeldris' side, which he's clearly buying away from, like he got hit on his left side. You could draw a straight line down from there from the sword, almost clean, almost.
Bro, hold on.
I'm just
check this out because I just found an inconsistency. If you, I don't know if you guys have the chapter open. If you look at the panel where Escanor uses the Seisu Escanor, or when he like pokes him with the finger or whatever.
yeah.
You see his blade. It has like a hilt thing to the right of it. Or whatever.
It's only got one.
Yeah, it's only got one.
Yeah,
Look
yeah,
at the
just
panel
one.
right underneath that, where Escanor is in small form. It has none.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, you
Could be
probably
just an error.
Yeah, you probably just messed it up. It'd probably be fixed for the Takamon volumes. They'll probably fix it.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I
we
know
do
when
see it
Whitebeard
later.
appeared
so.
like in Marine form, they forgot one of his scars. But in the volume, his scar is back. So like it happens sometimes.
Okay.
That's a simple mistake, right?
And and Togashi just be scribbling with his etch a sketch and not drawing shit. So
It's like Male's wings. It got screwed up. He had 6, then he had 4 for the rest of
Because
it.
if you look down another panel or two, it's back again. So
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. And then the sword tip to it, you can see whenever he gets slashed, and we get the first narrator's box, the top of the sword is square. It's the same as in after you have to.
yeah, it's a weird sword.
So I guess
it's
it-
a cool sword. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, but like you
Does
said,
the-
like, that's my favorite panel, bro. My baby girl looking cute as fuck. She out here turned around to the left with the feathers blowing in her hair and stuff. She's oh my gosh. No homo.
What do you feel about the next like chapter, cunning maggots?
Yeah, cunning
That has
maggots.
to
that's-
be.
Quite the title.
That's a weird translation, I think.
I know, probably.
That has
But
to be
I-
something that Chandler says.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I was thinking the same exact thing actually.
But does anybody? I think one thing we kind of glanced over, but didn't really fully talk about was Zeldris' attitude towards brother. I know that was brought up, but
Oh,
it's
that's
not.
right. Hop on it, Alex.
That's weird, man. To me, that's so weird because remember, he respected his older brother, and now he probably likes that. The fact that he treats Elizabeth like trash, and treats the fact that Escanor brought up the fact that Escanor brings up like Meliodas, like your brother's my friend, like he's and then he's like, no, my brother doesn't have boring feelings like that. When literally, Zeldris was in that boat the whole time with Gelda. Like, what? How do you not understand how your brother would feel that way?
Nah, my nigga. I think we're twisting it. Cause all right, let me show you my perspective. Let's show our perspectives and see the differences. Cause I think at least your shit was drastic as fuck, Griever. Cause I wasn't matching it exactly to the Gelda situation. I saw it as more like we all know that in the past he admired his brother, like you said, but either the fact that he did seal Gelda, nah, that can't be it. No. It has to be that, like, it has to be the betrayal, bro. Because Meliodas himself, his feelings said that he regretted that situation with Gelda or whatever, that he had to deal with that. So maybe there is indeed still resent because of that. Like, even since then, there's that resent of sealing Gelda, that he wasn't there to assist him get through that. So if Meliodas felt bad about it, Gelda or Zeldris must have some negative feelings towards it too. And then he left the Demon Clan. Then he had to fight him, and then 3,000-year-old seal, and now they come back and fight him again. So I could see, it definitely makes sense that the last time that they were fucking buddy with each other, he fucked up, or he wasn't there to help him when he really should have been.
No, what I always took it as, correct me if I'm wrong, but I always took it as the fact that he did not become the Demon King was the whole reason, because the vampires, they did their, like, betrayal shit. I never got the indication that he really blamed Meliodas for that, because remember, Meliodas states, I forget where, man, but I was reading the wikis because I'm trying to get more research knowledge for my head for doing discussion videos, and it's the fact that Meliodas states that Zeldris, he couldn't understand why Zeldris tried so hard, and then when he met Elizabeth, he understood. So Zeldris and Gelda were together before Meliodas and Elizabeth. He states that. He states once he met Elizabeth, he understood why Zeldris would try so hard. Like, it's like, it doesn't matter that I date. Don't worry, Dad. You might not approve of my girlfriend, but look at all the shit I accomplished. You got to let this one slide. You know, sort of idea. And once Meliodas saw that, he was just kind of like, yeah. So I don't know, man. Like, you make a really good point about the betrayal, honestly. But
no, but that doesn't contradict what I'm saying though, because that's what happened. Yeah. Like, they were together before, but whenever he was forced to do this, to steal away the vampire clan, that was an incredibly traumatic situation. So for him to have to deal with that on his own,
he was supposed to kill them. He was supposed to kill them. Remember?
So for him to have to deal with that on his own, and being Meliodas most likely being in a position of, like, almost being obligated to lend some emotional assistance or some emotional support, because that's how he took it himself. He felt that he was responsible, that he should have been helping him. That Zeldris also would have been the recipient of that. Like, he would have.
I kind of want to wait until I get a better translation, because I feel like he's not capable of such boring feelings was not what he said really.
Yeah.
So like, I know the line is important, I know that, but I just feel like the way it was phrased is wrong, because part of me wants to think it's like, you know, you didn't help me when I had my situation with Gelda, but the moment you fell in love, you betrayed all of us for Elizabeth and whatnot, kind of thing. It's like, part of me feels like he resents him for that, where it's like maybe he's mad he can do it himself.
But everything we've seen of your boy there, man. Everything we've seen of Zeldris, like when he confronts Elizabeth, he says, "Know the depth of your sin. Do you realize how much my brother has suffered?" Like, he still feels for his brother. So why would he think that? Like, it just seems like, as you said, man, maybe it's a translation thing, because it seems very contradictory of everything we've seen of Zeldris. Zeldris wants his older brother back. He wants his approval. He wants Meliodas to be happy. He knows Meliodas is miserable for the last 3,000 years. He might put on the cheeky face, but he knows that Elizabeth has caused him nothing but despair and heartache for years. And Zeldris does not want that for his brother. We've seen that time and time again. There's just no question. He grew up respecting him, and now he might feel the hurt from the betray, but that doesn't mean that he's all about, I want my brother to suffer. He doesn't want him to suffer. He might want him dead, but not to suffer.
You're right, man. I don't know. We need to have a conversation. We need to talk about some shit that happened, air it out. So we'll see.
I'd be good with that.
Trap was raw though.
Anything else we gotta surf on?
Chapter is pretty much a straight fight, which I'm pretty happy with. Less dialogue, just more fighting.
Chandler, help your prince, you dumbass.
Cusack.
Not Chandler.
Yeah,
Cusack.
Cusack.
Sorry. Help.
I still think it's what I said earlier, is that it's like Zeldris doesn't want the help, and when he does, Cusack will be there if he wants it. Otherwise, he's like, shit, he'll kill me if I interfere.
But did you guys did you guys take anything away from the second last page where it's specifically like Cusack looking on, like, like everybody else is a little shocked, but specifically Cusack's eye, like almost in a, oh no, this is happening. And that might bring me back to that little theory where I think that maybe Cusack's been ordered, if Zeldris fails, eliminate him sort of idea. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like Cusack doesn't want to do it, but I feel like he's watching on almost as like the Demon King's eyes right now, and he knows he's got a mission. If Zeldris fails, it's gonna be kill or be killed sort of mentality.
I don't know. He might be ready to take down Duducio next chapter. So
yeah, I think he's ready to actually be like, oh wow, my prince. Like, okay, maybe I should step in, maybe.
Maybe do something, napping demon.
Yeah, I think he'll do something next chapter.
I'm just worried about all these specific looks. Like, remember, you don't waste. You have 19 pages roughly every week. You do not waste a panel with a reaction from a character that means nothing. You don't waste panels. You don't waste ink like that. And we've been constantly seeing, like, I don't care about the Holy War, Grimace. We see this. He's losing the battle. Big, wide-eyed. Everybody else gets a reaction panel. He gets the big one. Like, yeah, I know it's his prince.
You know
but
who else got a big one?
Yeah.
Oh, shut up.
yeah.
Dude, Escanor makes you look like a bitch.
You could say that, bro. You could say that, but he was about to kill your ass. He was about to kill the fuck out of Escanor. You were about to be decapitated.
No, he wasn't.
Chandler help. Chandler hack.
Yeah,
Sorry.
without Chandler, that he would have.
Yeah, without Chandler, Zeldris is losing 4 plus.
Bro, what you mean, bro? What does that mean to me,
bro?
If they tag team you, what does that mean to me, bro?
That finger was going through. That finger was going all the way. If you know what I'm talking about.
Here, bro. We just
erupting, burning
finger. I don't want to think about that word.
Well, at the end of the day, guess what didn't happen?
Yeah, but you know what did? Took the most damage. All I see is my boy Escanor laying on the ground with a few bruises on one arm and Zeldris' blood on the other.
And Rudicell standing up.
That's all I see. That's all I see, man. You talk about my boy. Your boy is fucking hurt. My boy is he's fine.
He's putting in work though. He's fighting everybody.
Wow.
Oh, he's putting in the work. Hey,
on the last panel too, the Dragon's Mark is gone.
Damage. I wanted Zeldris to do more damage.
Did he knock him out of his shit?
I didn't.
You didn't?
You see that, right?
Nope.
The Darkness Mark is gone.
Off of Zeldris?
Yeah.
But didn't because didn't the Shigan like cancel his magic? Didn't it say that for a second?
Yeah, it canceled. Yeah, for a few seconds.
It's
Divine Sword canceled Ominous Nebula and the Demon King's power. Brought this up in my review too. Regardless what you think of that, the Demon King's power, the fact that one blow, the same blow that nearly cut Meliodas in half, canceled Ominous Nebula and the right hand of the Demon King power.
Bro, that's
one blow.
We have to get a proper translation because that doesn't make sense. He probably just turned like he got so hurt that he just had to stop using or something like that. But
that's how I took. Well, like obviously, like the Nebula got canceled. Had to defend himself with. He just hurt so badly. I guess he couldn't focus on using what God or whatever it's called. So
yeah, that's what I took it as.
What panel does he lose the Demon King mark, man?
The very last.
He doesn't have it in the very last one.
It looks like it's just covered in blood to me.
Nah, bro.
No, it's not there. The little swirl is gone.
Scroll up 2 more panels and you see the mark clearly. It's clearly distinguishable across his forehead.
It's a much smaller mark of blood on his head than if it was there.
It might have went back to normal because remember when he it's like Meliodas. Like,
it got real agitated looking.
Yeah, so it might have gone back to normal, shall we say? And it's just covered
after he got fucked. Yep, happens.
He wouldn't lose the Demon King mark. I don't think he'd lose the mark because the mark is like.
That's what you call getting fucked good.
No, it's just smaller, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Did you hear that, Night?
End of the day, if it took the one ESCANOR and Reduciel to take my boy out, I'll take it.
Hey, it took Chandler. Chandler, motherfucker, Chandler.
He didn't lose to no Punk. You know what I'm saying?
He lost to he lost to Hax from the greatest mage of the demon realm.
He lost to literally ESCANOR and the leader of the Archangels. Like, I'm good, but he's still conscious. It ain't over.
Dude, I'm okay with it too. I do not hate on Zeldris. I'm just saying. If that was 1v1, Escanor had that in the bag. I'm just saying. Escanor had that in the bag. No interruption from Rudesiel. No interruption from Chandler. That the one would not have been done by that point, and he was looking hurt, man. Zeldris couldn't stop that, and he had no magical power for that second. So he was being stabbed, man. He was taking that hit. 4+ hearts.
Too bad it didn't actually happen.
And
well, then Rudesiel happened. Your boy, Mr. Gay Flash, happened. So, Zeldris took more hits.
How can you compliment somebody and insult them at the same time, bro? What are you doing? Come on, bro.
Because I am a Canadian, man. I know how to say I'm sorry and also insult you at the same time.
He saved your ass, bro. Come on, relax.
I do like that this was more of what we were kind of promised last chapter, of two Graces kind of having a team up or a combo.
Yeah, exactly. Way more. Yeah, Kishin's right.
It wasn't as satisfying because obviously one was toting the load, but it was better than what we saw last week.
Mm-hmm.
You could keep saying that, but you were about to die. We toted the load too, bro. Dang, bro. That niggas just stay on the Escanor meter.
Yeah, 1 fucking second's worth of work.
No, not 1 second. 0.2.
Okay, not even a second then. So,
and that's all it took. Hey, that's all it took.
That's correct. 0.2, right? 0.2 seconds. Boom. You done, dog. What are you doing, bro?
I heard 0.8.
But what I read, it was 0.8 seconds. He realized, and he had 1 more second. He needed a full second. That's the way I read it. But if you want to say 0.2,
no, it was that Escanor did that to him in 0.8 seconds. He turned the magic off in 0.8 seconds, and then it was going to take another second for him to reactivate the power of God.
Is that the way you read it? See, the way I read it, I brought this up in my review, Grimm. The way I read it was that after Chandler did his thing, from when the blowback after he went boom back into regular Timid Escanor, from that point when Zeldris was flying backwards was 0.8 seconds. That's the way I read it. But I could be wrong. As I said, I brought up 3 possibilities. That 0.8 seconds could be this, that, and the other thing.
It says, at that time, Zeldris' 2 magic powers disappeared. That happened because they were canceled thanks to Escanor's blow. But the Demon World Prince rapidly opened his eyes. All that took mere 0.8 seconds.
Right. I believe that the blinking of his eyes took 0.8 seconds.
That's what it sounded like to me.
That's the way I read it. But you could be right. You could be right, too. As I said, I brought up there's like 4 ways you could read that. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's still Flash is fast as fucking shit.
From there on,
at the end of the day,
he would need 1 more second to reactivate Demon King. Activate the Demon King's power.
Yeah, it's weird that they don't say his original magical power. Like, they don't mention Omnibus Nebula. Like, he needs to reactivate the ruler. Like, rather than reactivate Omnibus Nebula.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a concentration thing, not that, like, he can't.
Yeah, because I think for Omnibus Nebula, he has to kind of get into his pose and get the darkness to start swirling around him to create the vortex. So I find, like, the ruler probably be... And that's probably the one that he needs to protect him from most damage, and then he can the Omnibus Nebula again. Not that it was working against the scanner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it just wasn't. It wasn't going to do. Like, all it did was bruise him a little. And everyone's still shocked at that. Like, I brought that up in my review, man. Like, both sides are shocked. Like, this is just, like, 2 stupidly strong powerhouses going all out and everyone being like, what? He can do this? What? He can do that? Like, that's literally the chapter.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. We're going to come back at you guys in a few days with another Boar's Hat podcast. 290 should be full of cunning maggots. Final words. Like the stream. Like, subscribe. Check out everybody's content and videos and channels like that. Links are in the description. If we get 15 likes here, Just 15 likes. That's all we need. Just 15 likes. This video. Just
Oh,
15.
no.
Just 15 likes, bro. 15 likes. Kishin
The
will
fuck
put,
no.
put star stickers on his nipples and do his next review shirtless for you guys.
What? No,
So-
thank you. I
What,
don't
y'all,
want to
my
do
nipples
that.
Yo,
and
hit that
nobody wants
like.
to-
Hit that like that.
Fuck no.
Please don't do it,
Dislike
don't
it.
do it.
Dislike it. I didn't agree to shit.
That's
Dude,
true.
dude, I'm
None of
making.
us want to
It's
see
about to
that.
happen, bro. Hey, hashtag
Yeah, nothing.
I'm making 4 extra YouTube accounts just so I can like that video.
You already know.
No.
Just saying.
I'm about to
I
super
don't
like
agree
this
to
shit.
anything, so fuck it.
Yeah, just wait for it, bro. Get them likes, bro.
Damn, Zeldra's the GOAT. That's crazy. All right, guys, thanks for coming.
Hey, hashtag flash of a piety. Yo!